there's a value in networking.
I like in-person dealing more now with the shows.
There was a lot of foul activity going on, and no one's talking about it.
I feel like I see less patience in the hobby today from teams. And I want to get your thoughts on that. When you hear of the large dollar amounts now around PMGs, what do you think?
What it takes for someone to spend that much money on any card.
Fanatics did something tonight I had never heard about. They have a lottery.
We got you on the lot.
Oh my goodness, we're both on the line.
Yes,
I don't think that the fact that they did Be Friends and Jackass is going to have any impact on how they treat sports cards.
You got to let the people know who you're rolling with, man.
Well, obviously I'm rolling with FD.
What's up, everybody? How we doing? It is Monday, June 20th, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, I want to let everybody out there know that I've been a little bit under the weather with a cold the last couple of days. This is why my voice sounds like this. I actually feel pretty decent right now, so I wanted to get back on, say what's up to all my people out here. And tonight we're going to have on Cali Elite. Cali Elite is a breaker. I see him all the time at shows out here in California. So I want to have him on and ask him some questions and learn a little bit more about him. And maybe people out there already know a lot about him, but there'll probably be something in this conversation that comes up that we all learn something. So he'll be on here soon. What's new and exciting? So last Friday, we all witnessed greatness, right? The Golden State Warriors won their 7th franchise championship, 4th with Steve Kerr, Draymond Green, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala. What's up, Demetrius? Yeah, I am. Well, we're going to be on here for a little bit of time, and then I'm going to get some rest, man. But, you know, we got to keep it rolling, bro. We got to keep it rolling. Can't stop it. Can't stop it, man. Got to keep it going. But I do hear your words of advice. I just got off the phone with another friend, and he told me the same thing. So that's what we will do. Yeah, but Golden State on Friday won their 4th championship in 8 years. That's right, brother. And we're rolling. It's interesting to see what that organization has done in a small amount of time, really, in the grand scope of NBA history, and how players are starting to cement themselves into the upper echelon of champions in NBA history. And, you know, and when I see this, I get excited for what's to come in the future. That's what's exciting. Congrats on your team victory. But Art, I'm not traditionally, I tell this to people all the time, I'm not traditionally a Golden State fan. I can remember back when they had TMC rolling. Chris Mullin. I remember when Latrell Sprewell was there. Chris Webber. Tim Hardaway from Chicago. But I still, today, I wouldn't consider myself a Golden State Warrior fan. I just like to see a team reaching for the stars and really going for it as a complete unit, trying to win. I think those are the things that get me excited. And that's why I always talk about embracing greatness, because I'm a Chicago Bulls fan. But like I said before, if the Charlotte Hornets, the Orlando Magic, any of these teams had a culture built like the Golden State Warriors do right now, and they're trying to obtain greatness, I'm tuning in. I'm watching that. I'm going to support that. No different than what Tom Brady was trying to do in New England and what he's trying to do now in Tampa Bay. I support that. To me, that's what it's all about, just being a sports fan, right? And I'm not a bandwagon person. But what we just saw is rare. It's rare. You won't see that a lot. Last year, Milwaukee won the championship. But just think about how much more re-engineering they need to do to win 2, 3, 4, maybe get to 5. I mean, that's upper echelon. Upper echelon. That's the beautiful thing about it. Mark Ingo, hope you had a great Father's Day. It was a great time. It's always good to be with family on Father's Day, and I can remember for a long time Father's Day was all about my father. And when you start having children, it's kind of some kind of a transition there, where it becomes about your family. But I always think of Dad on Father's Day. I always will. The stuff that he instilled, generational, man. You know, I'm putting that into people right now. So it's a beautiful thing. He said, "Where's the Golden State hat?" Oh, it's right here, Mark. Oh, let me make sure Mark's good. Mark, look at that brand. You see that? It's not going anywhere, man. It's not going anywhere. You know, the odds makers have Golden State the highest odds to repeat next year. I hope everybody knows that this is just the beginning of something. And no one can say sitting here that Golden State's going to win another championship, but they're going to be in the conversation. They're going to be in deep in the playoffs, defending somebody that's trying to win a championship. So, and that's the cool thing. The fact that they regrouped and came back is significant. Yes. At 2-1, I had no fear of what was about to happen. We've seen this happen before. I think once you understand how a team works and you get their game plan down and what sets they're going to run and what defense they're going to come at you with, then you start hold on one second here. We'll make sure I get Cali Elite right. Make sure. Hold on one second. Yeah, once you get past certain things, you start understanding the team that you're playing against, and then you go from there. And that is the cool thing about sports, right? Is that some players, like we think back, right? I was thinking today. You look at Vince Carter. You ask yourself, why don't more people talk about Vince Carter? Because he never won a championship. Tracy McGrady, Hall of Famer. A lot of people don't talk about him because he never won a championship. And that's how sports works. That is how it works. Oh, we got Cali leading the house. So, hey, I want to say I see this gentleman at every show I go to in California. It amazes me. I consider myself a hardworking individual moving around. Cali Elite is everywhere, and he has the same energy level all the time. I've been looking forward to this conversation for a long time. And without further ado, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, man. How's it going?
It's good to see you.
Hear me okay? Everything going well?
Yeah, I'm good. I've had
I've
a cold for the last few days, but you
All right.
know, nothing stops the hits, man.
And nothing wrong with a little bass in your voice. That's okay.
Nothing wrong with it, right?
I know you like to change, so I brought MJ with me tonight, you know, so.
MJ. I kind of get my Barry White on tonight, you know.
There you go.
That's where it's at.
How's it
So
going?
let me just throw some comments out here, and then we'll jump into some questions for you. Organic Dynasty. We were just talking about Golden State Warriors and what they kind of pulled off there. Sexy Moist had. I hope Curry wins 2 more back-to-back and shuts the haters up. Kelly, it gets me. How many people hate on this young man?
I mean, you know, I think it's just because he hasn't been proven. You know, it's like you're not one of the GOATs yet. now he's proven to be one of the greatest winners, I guess you can say. Leave everything else up for debate so far. His career is not over yet, but by far he's one of the best winners. And people hate winners. People hate LeBron.
They do that.
And people hated Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, rest in peace, Kobe. But people didn't like Kobe either, and it's because they liked to win and they knew how to win.
That's right on, right there, spot on. Mark Engel, if Draymond wouldn't have taken a game and a half off, it would have been Warriors in 5. Well, that's true. I don't disagree with that. I want to see Warriors sleep Nets. Sweet Nets and KD next year. Maybe a gentleman's sweep. I don't think KD is going to be in the picture. I mean, the talk.
I don't even think even if he is, I don't think the Nets are going to be in that picture when it comes playoff time.
Well, the talk is right now Kyrie wants out.
Yeah,
and they're trying to find out what team he's going to go to.
They say I heard him throw Lakers around, but it's always Lakers are in every conversation.
The Lakers are hard because they have 2 undervalued players, right? You got Anthony Davis and you got Westbrook. Maybe if they had done more last year, probably so. But they're still going to try to work that out some kind of way. But Cal, let me ask you a question. Let's say I tell you, hey, man, let's get together and let's go to Brooklyn and let's play basketball together. And we're all excited. We're like, yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Then I get there, right? I mean, you're already an elite player. I mean, you're trying to get in the top 10 yourself.
Yeah.
Your career, I can remember not that long ago, KD had almost exactly the half amount of points that Kareem had this year in his career. So he's going there. And so now I convince you, hey, let's go to Brooklyn, man. You come to Brooklyn, and then you're kind of by yourself for whatever reason. You're kind of by yourself. And then when people start asking certain questions of me, I think I'm out. And I know my man JD, the collector, he loves Kyrie Irving, but it's just like he has almost derailed KD's career.
I mean, everywhere he goes, it seems a little toxic, and you never know the behind-the-scenes drama. But hey, there's behind-the-scenes drama there. I mean, they're the same decade of players of same high school years of me growing up. Same 3 to 5 years. So I got to see their careers transpire at the same time. And man, from high school, KD's always been a solid-headed player. No matter where he's gone, he's been quiet, very limited in whatever he said. Same as at Golden State. And Kyrie, not to talk ill, but he's all so behind the scenes, there's probably more of that going on.
Yeah, it's interesting. R says, told you Warriors in 6. Yep. Ziggy, Curry is a better father to a role model to kids.
Oh, true.
He's well-rounded.
Well-rounded, yeah.
And I see him, people have asked him some difficult questions.
Yeah. It's hard to say anybody's a better father, but he's a great father.
Yeah. I was going to comment on that too. I don't know who he is a better father than, but yeah, he does good fathership work. But I just marvel in how he'll handle difficult questions with ease.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And finish it with, where's my family at?
That's right. Where my people at?
That's right.
We just won 4. What was my mom and dad?
Where's my family?
All right. I was a huge Lakers fan up until Kobe retired. Since then, I've never felt the same about the team. I feel like their tradition is lost. They just don't feel like the Lakers anymore. I kind of think that everything that we grew up with, as far as tradition in sports, I feel like you can wipe that slate clean. This is a whole new era of sports, man. It's really about, and this is not what I am in favor of. It's kind of about the name on the back of the jersey more than it is the name on the front of the jersey. So, and then you look at like college sports, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that these conferences now have made moves about dollar bills and not about the tradition of sports. Who's in a bowl game? Who's even in your conference? It's not what I grew up with. And I can remember, I don't know if anybody else remembers this, bowl week was 7 games. 7 games. You had 1 game per day for 1 week. Now we have probably almost 60 bowl games. So that should tell you right there that what we knew or what was known to us as being tradition, kind of out of the window.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. Warriors need to keep the trio Steph, Clay, and Poole together. Will be tough for any team to guard the trio. And all that's going to come down to financial situations. I think they will. We'll see what Clay is like next year. I think you're going to see an improved Clay when he has more time to rest his body.
Yeah, I mean, you just had a coach, assistant coach from Golden State decide to stay. Whether that's based off money or whether that's not.
I never know why he was leaving.
So, yeah, so whether that's most likely it's not based off a high paycheck, it's probably just based off the value and comfort of what that program delivers that time and possible ladder there. So same with the players. I mean, sure, you can chase money. Everybody's chasing money.
That's
Do you want that to be you? Is it going to be Jordan Poole? I don't know. Is Draymond going to take a pay cut because he's earned his and give a little bit to somebody else? You never know. Well, Probably not Draymond.
I also heard a stat the other day that Golden State sold portions of the Chase Center, I think of up to $200 million, to bring money in to keep this thing rolling. Now, you still got to divide that up to find out who gets what portion of those funds. But that's going to be money on the table. Right now, James Wiseman, who makes $9 million, is the 5th highest paid player on that team. And that Poole's going to want his cut. Other people are going to want their cut. But I think if people understand how they won this championship, everybody sacrificed here, you could become a legend in no time if you continue to sacrifice.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
So I was watching, and then we'll get to some other stuff. I was watching an interview the other day, and a player said they signed a contract that was less than what they wanted to sign for, but they wanted to give more money back to the team to bring players in. And then they tried to enhance. Oh, it was Curry. Curry said this. He kind of pulled back on his contract to make sure other players could get paid on the team. I think he signed a $44 million contract. And the next year, the stock value for point guard went through the roof. And so he immediately jumped from Nike to Under Armour to make more money outside of the court and also run a brand with his name on it. You might start seeing players do more of that, so they're in control of more of what their brand is. They also can establish greatness for themselves or a run for themselves. Because people talk about runs in the game. These championships are a run. If you don't take advantage of that while you can, the door will shut on you. Who do you guys think will be drafted 1 through 5? Ooh, that's a question. I don't know. I don't know what you think, Cali, but I haven't been thoroughly impressed by the college players that may be coming out this year.
It's gonna be tough. I mean, there's always gonna be 1 or 2 international players, maybe 3. I mean, that get drafted in the top 5 or that get considered, and 1 or 2 of them, you're like, who is that? Where'd he come from? And you have no clue. Where they played, their experience level, but they're 7 foot tall and can shoot 8 for 10 from 3-point range, and that's all. Time will tell. When it gets closer to the draft, what adults are out there internationally with already that developed game that people are considering, top 5.
Now let's jump into you, because this is what I'm excited about, right? So let's start out by tell me more about yourself. Like, how did you get interested in the hobby? Where did you grow up? What were some influences that brought you to cards?
Well, I was always in a basketball sports household. My dad coached soccer, basketball for high school sports my whole life growing up. So I was always that gym rat, right there on the field, chasing everybody else around. So, that began my career into playing sports as well. I played basketball, soccer, football from middle school on. Went to Notre Dame Academy, which is was a country school in Virginia. That doesn't even exist anymore. They've disbanded by now, but played basketball there on sports scholarship. We were nationally ranked, played LeBron, played Curry, Charlie Villanueva, Carmelo Anthony. Had a chance to, play big names throughout my career. And at that time, I wasn't focused on cards, sports cards. I had my little box here that I collected of Michael Jordan and little things from cereal boxes and Gatorade packages growing up that now are seen as gems if you have those still. But I wasn't really seen as collectible items to hold on to. I played Magic the Gathering as it got into my high school years, middle school, high school years. And, that was another side of trading cards and collecting, which I enjoyed. I did Magic tournaments on Friday nights, going from middle school to high school. And, those cards, I say I probably collected Magic more than I did sports cards during those years because I was so busy playing sports myself.
Understood.
And, at that time, just went to the restaurant industry after college. Sports disbanded a little bit at that time. I focused on my career path and ended up, once the pandemic happened, took a break from my career, years later. And here I am, started my own business in sports cards, finding out I have a great breaker voice and I have a good energy on camera.
You do.
So I've taken this direction.
So tell us more about your business and how you break cards, what cards you break. Run it all down to us.
Well, business first started really just breaking retail products. I love basketball and football mainly for when it comes to my knowledge of sports. Baseball, I enjoy watching, but I don't have the knowledge factor in depth. There's so many players, the farm leagues. So for me, I really enjoy those basketball, football, pick your team breaks, even just opening them for, from my customers, enjoying the excitement that they share, me pulling those big hits for them, nothing but the hits, by the way, is our phrase, it's home with nothing but the hits. So we like to pull those big pulls for you, keep that energy up. And, you can see, I don't know how my reverse camera is here, how that works, but we got a little basketball, a little football here ready to go. The new Prism products ready to go for tonight's breaks. We'll do some personals there with those and, schedule some pick your team breaks throughout the week as new products comes in. Products behind me ready to go for later on in the week. And, I really enjoy just that next product coming out. Who's that next chase, that next hunt? Why is it valuable to the breaker or the person collecting it? And why is it not? You have to know that as well about your products, which is very important in the hobby.
So what sports do you break? You walk us through what sports. Oh, what
sports?
Break other things that are not sports related.
Yeah, I do other things other than, I'll do soccer as well, or Topps Chrome soccer. I really enjoy Sapphire, Topps Chrome. I haven't really gotten to hockey as much. Hockey, I say, is a smaller following. So you really have to stay consistent with that. The people that are really out there breaking hockey are doing it consistently, and they have the big following, for hockey specifically. Sure, if I can get my hands on the cup, a case of the cup or something like that, it'd be fun to break if I had 10 people that liked hockey in my life. But, there's always the greats out there that you're looking for in every sport. And I think tapping into some of the smaller sports, having at least some product of golf, having some product of, I don't know how big tennis cards are, but who knows what Fanatics is going to do in the next couple of years. Having something for every athlete out there to say, yes, I carry that for you. It's very important as a breaker. I have WWE, I have UFC. I want to be able to say, yes, I have some product to offer you, opposed to saying, oh no, go to another room. That's very important for that engagement, customer service level, just entertainment aspect as well, because that's what we are as breakers, as social media. People hear live or people see our faces. You don't want to just be the hands behind the camera. Of course, they want to know what's pulling the fire, but we also have faces as well.
So if I'm interested in finding one of your breaks, where do you break at and how often per week do you break?
Yes, I have a partnership over here at Stack Packs LLC in El Cajon Mall here in San Diego. So I'm over there in the office at times doing sorting, breaking, working out of the shop, trade nights first Saturday of every month. So make sure you guys, come on down if you're local. But, also start as a home business. So, right now I'm at home with my family. My office at home, I got my family here. My wife's put my kids to bed. Wouldn't be possible without her. Who knows? Maybe my 4-year-old and 7-year-old are still running around in there trying to cause a ruckus.
Yeah.
But that's life. And luckily, the pandemic put me in a situation to where I had some time to sit back. Hospitality industry was at its low. and had a pause for the most part for over a year, and had a chance to sort of sit back and say, family time is important. I can do something else with family around and incorporate them, engage them, pass something down to my kids. So I really gave myself a 3 to 5 year timeline of this, and we'll see how it goes. Partnerships are important. Work very, very closely with Ricky the Collector, Showtime Collectibles up in LA. They have fantastic boxes, fantastic products, and it's really just about the community, about great people. We've been setting up shows together for over a year and a half now. Those connections, those people you keep around you in the hobby. Union Marketplace, shout out to Wiley and Alex down south. At SoCal Premier Show, everybody. We got Chris, up north as well, up in LA, so it's just, we're cardstock. It's just a big family here in SoCal. We got to keep that going to grow the hobby.
That's great, man. I think I told you people when we were opening, I don't go anywhere that I don't see you. You're on the move. And I appreciate that. I mean, even when I went down to the San Diego area, nothing but the hits, baby. I walk in, I say, you're doing your thing. And what I always like is that you always have an energy level. No? If somebody's around you, I mean, that's a great attribute.
Yeah, I think my kids keep me young for now. So I'll keep with that. It's all for the kids, That's why we do free packs for the kids at events, and try to incorporate the family aspect as much as we can. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there from yesterday. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I know I did with my family, so that's what it's about. Staying positive.
That's what it's all about. Smoothness asks the question: what's the biggest card you pulled so far this year?
This year, let's see. I would say. Well, just last week, we pulled out of 10 Mac Jones, out of Donruss Clearly. Pulled a Luca exactly a year ago. We put a Luca 1-carat gold print, a plate out of Impeccable Hobby. Mm-hmm. That was about a $8,000 plus card there. Put a couple LaMelo Ball autos this year, a couple Anthony Edwards autos, some numbered, some not, out of various products. I think if you're chasing that one big hit pulled, you're going to be chasing it for a lifetime sometimes, and, you got a lot of these big breaker companies out there, that have the funds that open to hundreds of cases a day, and, the chance of those big pulls are fantastic. They're huge. You see more of them, and hopefully by next year, I'm able to add some flawless into that, some national treasures into those big pulls, and say, step it up and say, we got that Mac Jones NFL Shield at a flawless right here. Nothing but the hits, baby. FD, rolling with FD, witnessed it. He got to touch it and show it off live right here. Let's go, on the podcast. That's what we want more of, those top of the line products. But I think the debate out there right now is, what is the top of the line product with so much changing out there?
True.
What do you consider valuable is also a question.
That's a great point. And you even see that somewhat in some card values. Yes. People are uncertain on where stuff is going.
That's right.
Compared to what you saw 6 months ago, 8 months ago, 9 months ago.
Sure.
So I know you break cards. Do you keep? This is a question I have. Do you have a PC? Are there certain cards that you have for yourself outside of your business?
So
do you even keep some unopened cases for yourself?
I'm not allowed to have any cards for my own PC.
Okay.
My wife won't allow it. No, I'm messing with you. No. Got to keep her happy though. So I like to PC the Chargers, my wife's favorite team. It's a 101 Keenan Allen.
Oh, that's a nice card.
I'm a Washington football fan, so unfortunately, we have no players the past decade that I need to really hold on to.
Oh, you don't?
I got a couple just fun cards that I hold on to from Washington over the years. We got a lot of LT rookies that I collect. For myself, and my wife, again, Chargers fan, so we love the classic players. Phillip Rivers got a couple of his rookies, autographs, things like that. Big new current players that I'm really looking into. I'd say NFL. One guy I got handy, Mr. Najee Harris right here. It'll encased BGS 9.5 10 auto. I think he's second coming of the bus. Big things for him.
Yeah, he can get it.
And he's going to be added to my PC. As a breaker, I say I probably have maybe a 20 card PC. Everything else I keep moving. We do lots of giveaways, repacks and stuff where we load chasers with $600 chasers, $1,000 chasers into our packs. So I keep my PC small right now, as I continue to grow it. And when I see something that I really like that 101 Keenan Allen, LT rookies, I got some Antonio Gibson rookie RPAs, things like that from Washington, who's my current squad. And Santana Moss. We got some Santana Moss rookies as well from back in the day. My uncle actually played for Washington in the 80s. So I was sort of I'm sorry?
Who's your uncle?
Alvin Garrett. They called him Papa Smurf. He played for for Washington from about 84 to 88 or 89. So won the Super Bowl with them in the 80s. Played for the Giants prior to that. And, he's in some of those, old Washington videos that you'll see, old highlights, things like that. And that's sort of just, I was born into it. You're born into, some people are born into the hobby. Some people are born into being a fan base. I was born into being a Washington fan. And now it's the Commanders, and that's, as a fan base, you have to get used to that transition over time, of name change, history, and how does that adapt? So that's going to affect the hobby as well. How is it going to change the baseball teams whose names have changed over the years? And all of a sudden you're looking at Atlanta Braves cards from years ago. They don't say the Braves anymore. Now they say, forgot what it is now. Or I say Indians are now the what is it? See, I can't even think of it.
I forgot the Indians' name as well.
I can't even think because they change it so often. See, I'm not a baseball guy, but it's just one of those things to where how is that going to affect the hobby? Everything is connected.
This is true. So, what do you see the future of breaking going next 2 to 5 years?
It's going to have a smaller market, I would say, meaning because of the boom everybody has been used to over the COVID-19 phase, the pandemic phase, parts of the country being shut down over the past 2 years, more so than others, people working out of their homes, buying from their homes as well more frequently. I think that people are starting to find the breakers that they trust, the breakers that they enjoy the most. They're not just out there, spending money on just about anything to collect because, cards are hot right now and the market's high. Market's not high anymore. Market's sort of leveled out a little bit. For the general collector, you're happy with it. For us that are right in the middle of the hobby, we're happy with how the hobby is. Those that dove into it and, unfortunately threw everything in to that boom of resale market, resell everything, retail wise, that's dwindled out now. That's gone, so now it's time to focus on that hobby. How is that going to transition between now and Fanatics? Who's going to control the products and the pricing is an important discussion as well, which is a long discussion also when it comes to products, how to get your hands on products. But that's a big piece of it, but breaking's going to stay strong. It's just going to be a smaller amount of breakers out there that stay healthy within this hobby.
Do you think that card prices going down is affecting the demand or people looking to join more breaks?
I think it's great. I think it's great that card prices are going down. It's, for the consumer, if I want to just buy a pack of cards or buy a box of cards to open as well, not just as the breaker. I mean, it affects as both sides. It's the scale moves with it. You just have to find, as a business owner, if you're looking to make profit off of boxes or, you're looking to move boxes, you're looking to be a breaker, offer that service to other people. Sometimes you have to take different directions. You have to open baseball product during baseball season. You got to open basketball and football during those seasons. You also have to have your single collection as well of slabs and stuff that you invest in that are liquid. So I think that the pricing right now of everything dropping down to where it should be is good for the hobby. It's healthy. It's getting the regular mom and pop and kid back into it that can go buy a box that couldn't afford it when the blasters at Target were $20, and somebody goes and takes the whole shelf, and then all of a sudden they're $100 on eBay. It's like, come on.
That's true. Very true. So we have very popular breakers. For instance, like backyard breaks.
Cali Lee, nothing but the hits.
That's right, bro. Cali Lee. When you think of backyard breaks and some other breakers that are out there, what comes to your mind? You're in the industry, you have your own business, you break on a regular basis. What are some things you think of?
I mean, when you specifically say backyard breaks, I know they've been in the media a lot, both for positive things and, like I said, you can say drama as well. Not to be, specific into, any specific occasions, but, there's lots of breakers out there that are just great, great for the hobby.
They are
always showing positivity, never in the drama.
I just talked to Mama Breaks last week.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to Mama Breaks. She's local here to SD as well. She's always out there, out there for the kids, out there for the families. And that's what we want to see. And there's you can be big and not put yourself into that drama, social media aspect, or even put your foot in the door of certain conversations. And I think that some of the bigger companies that do a lot of these, high value chaser packs, things that you're really a needle in a haystack to try to hit. It doesn't offer the regular collector, unless you really have money to flush down the drain to take a chance, like you're going to Vegas every single day. Spending $1,500 on a pack with a floor of $200. Or $300, and then this item that comes out of that box isn't even worth $200 to $300. Sure, people like throwing in their money all day, but that's why I say over time, I think people are going to find the breakers that they really enjoy finding the value out of, as these, the price demand of some of these product drops. You have the regular everyday collector getting back in. More people are going to be joining those, the breaks that they feel value into. They don't feel as though, things are maybe overpriced for a chaser that may be impossible to hit just because there's 500 people watching and you want to get in on this break. You go join the breaker room that has 40 people, 50 people, 10 people in it. There's some great breakers out there on Drip Shop Live. Shout out to Drip Shop Live. Up and coming. I'm on Drip Shop Live. I'm also on Whatnot as well. There's different outlets for different people that you need to look into. But there's, you can go on Whatnot and there's 500 people in a room, 200 people in a room. You can go over on Drip Shop Live. They got the same products over there. Great breakers. Some of the same breakers that are also on Whatnot that also have a Drip Shop page. But you're in line with 5 people, 10 people, same products. So you just got to find those people that can offer what you want, can offer that value.
When you talk to other breakers, I know in content creation, people say sometimes, well, I make the content that's going to give me more views, more subscribers. And so I'm kind of locked into that. If I go outside of that, less people may watch me. I always had a philosophy that I kind of show what I do and I make what I think should be made. And everything I make is not for a subscriber or for a view, but it's something that I think that I have a creative side. That's something that should be made. Do you ever have conversations with other breakers where they feel like, we talked about before, the drama may make them more popular, so they feel like they need to go that route instead of maybe another route?
So yes, it's more so of, we have these, breaker chats, you can say, where a lot of us breakers are on there, 10, 15, 20 of us behind the scenes, no one knows about. And, sometimes you get to hear the tones of people, their real visions. And when other people ask questions on certain things, other people get to share their insights and discussions and experience with other breakers, things from behind the scene at events and stuff that, you may or may not see. And there's a lot of stuff going on out there, that is very dirty within the hobby, and there are people that like to throw themselves in the drama. They're okay stealing cards and coming right back the next day and going right back on camera and acting like it never happened, because they get more followers that way. Oh, more people are going to follow me if they think we're stealing cars to see if we're going to do it again, right? Then they're probably going to just buy and do a break.
Right? Yeah, some controversy.
Yeah, some controversy there. So, is all is negative publicity good publicity to some people? Yeah. Is all publicity good publicity? No. I don't think so. And I like to put only the real content that I like out there. Sometimes I'll put stuff of my family on there and incorporate them. That's the real side of me. But I'm always me when I'm doing my posts, or my social media at my shows. That's just me in real life right there. There's no show put on, no extra engagement or anything like that to try to, pull that customer in. That's just showing you the personality and reality of what's going on with me in the hobby.
That's right, man. That's right. I know every time I see you, same person, we have good conversations. You usually educate me on something about breaking that I didn't know before, either if I ask a question or not. So that leads me into, what are some of the things that you're doing to engage young people in the hobby, either at shows or through breaking or other avenues? Walk us through that.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta follow some of the kid breakers out there. Shout out to baby breakers. Shout out to Benji. Local SoCal guys out here that are really just trying to grow within the hobby. And have a future ahead of them. There's you have to follow them, support them. These are people that in 10, 20 years, when the hobby has another boom, and they're the lead people in the hobby when they're 20, 30 years old. You're gonna be looking out to like, wow, the hobby's really grown. So support those kids that are trying to learn, trying to engage, trying to trade. If you have a kid that comes up and says, "You want to trade?" The answer should be yes. What you got? Let me see what you got. And when I say kid, I mean like under 12. You're over 12, you're not a kid anymore. You're like you're 13 sometime, and when adults come up to you, 90%, I'm usually not trading. I'm not buying. But a kid comes up to me 100% of the time, I'm always going to say, sure, what you got? Let me see it. Because it's not just maybe I'm interested, maybe I want to buy, maybe I don't. I want to take that educational opportunity, whether it's my kid, somebody else's kid, to show them, hey, this is how trading can work. This is how you can come up in the hobby, or here's some free cards as well. Go try to trade these for something else. And then show me what you got by the end of the show. True. Education is huge in this hobby, as is anything else, any career. So I think you got to be remember for that as well. The educational piece. Kids packs. We do a lot of kids packs. We'll just have my kids sort some multi-sport packs for the kids, and we'll just hand them out to shows. Come up, walk by the table. I'll send my kids around the room, let them hand out some packs to kids, and usually it ends up, their parents come and they'll find you. They'll find you and say, "Hey, thanks for the cards." They usually go, "Hey, did you give these to my kid, or did they take them from your table?" It's like, okay, well,
I gave sometimes too. Like,
that's right. We gave them to your kid, and it's you're always out to shows with your family. I mean, they're out right there with you. They're enjoying their smiles on their faces. You got your son over there with the camera following you around. Yeah. He's loving it. He's skilled at what he does with his camera work. And I've seen, some of his shots of me and on there live, and that's been great. So shout out to him. But having that family in that environment, I think is big for you, getting yourself out there. I mean, you're rolling with FD. You're out there. We expect to see you with your family, whether 1, 2 kids, or I know you don't have. I know I have like 15 kids. You have 20, right? I can't remember the exact numbers. Yeah, we somewhere around there. You have 4. I got 3. Okay, you were a little ahead of me, so I had to expect numbers. So I got 3. You got 4. So it's important. It keeps you busy at home, and when you can take them to work and sort of incorporate them in that, and everybody enjoys it, it just makes it a bigger piece of the pie.
When I was young, my father and I used to talk, because it all kicked off with him and I going to stuff together. And he would ask me, when you get older and you have children, would you want to take them to a show with you? Without hesitation, I was like, yeah. I wouldn't want anybody here. I think it all comes back, man. I remember when I was a young kid, and my mother worked for a telephone company. And I'd been there for years, and I had moved up in the ranks. And every Christmas, every holiday season, they had a day where you could bring your kids to work.
Yes.
And I would go downtown Chicago, man, just be so hyped. Go into her office. I used to love sitting at her desk with her name badge up. And I think this kind of, I wouldn't want to go anywhere and spend a bunch of time. And somebody here who may be young and thinking like, what is dad doing? They can't go experience that too. Junior is 6, and he knows that if we're leaving and we're taking him, the smile on his face is different than we're leaving and he's staying at home. He gets excited. And he likes coming around and fist bumping you and other people and talking to you and having fun. And I think then it can register in his head, okay, what's going on here? As he gets older, I think he'll start understanding probably some more of the financial side of things. Mm-hmm. But now it's all about just having him meet people, talk to folks, shake hands, tell something about himself. That's what he does. So, and then the same thing with G. Like, G is a quieter person. So when we first started the show, it was getting him in front of people and having him again talk to every young person. When we came through, every young person has to go through a phase where they can kind of step up, shake someone's hand, say something. My father used to have me do that. Like, go talk to that person and ask them the next question. And it was like, I guess, like a mini drill, but it helped me. Because I used to be a real quiet person, Cali Lee. Some people may not think that. I would go places and I would do more watching and viewing than talking. So that all helped me come out of that. Just talking to people.
And it's hard to believe.
Seeing kids at children, young adults. That's why I love seeing them at shows.
Yeah, I mean, your personality is so outgoing now. So, it's I guess you were, sort of set back before, and now you shine it.
And I think that's what people sometimes don't think of is where we end up as an adult. We went through a road to get there. It's not just I came into this world just talking. Actually, when we were children, my brother was a talker and I was the observer. And sometimes we go places now when we go together, we're the exact opposite. And sometimes he's still out talking me and I'm kind of the observer sometimes. Especially if I don't know certain people, I can be like that. But that's what life is all about. You may see a kid today that's very quiet, doesn't say too much. Years from now, they may be giving speeches. You just never know.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
So have your children showed any interest in like cards or in that nature? I know they come to shows. I've seen your children at shows.
Yeah, I mean, for them, they'll tell you too, it's more so not just the cards, the time, it's the dollar at the end of the day. My 4-year-old, he's already savvy that cards are liquid. Cards can turn into an investment and they can be turned into money. And for him, he wants to buy a bag of chips at the end of the day. He wants some bubble gum. But as a 4-year-old, what else do you have your heart set on? So he sees that as, okay, let me trade some cards and see what I can find. And I want to buy a bag of chips. That's my goal. So, he's starting small. A 7-year-old, he's more so starting to see a little bit of, okay, I can trade, but he doesn't understand the value of the cards. He's at the age of, like you said, you're trying to teach them the value aspect of it. Not just everything's $1, everything's $5, or everything's 10. So now comes that educational aspect of they've shown the interest. They see that dad does it as a business. Now they only want dad to do it when they don't want to go to the park or they don't want to do something else. Then daddy's always doing cards in that case. Oh, you're always doing cards, dad.
Yeah.
And then the other time they want to say, hey, dad, you want to come trade? And they'll get their box out and we'll sit in the living room and we'll trade cards. And, I'll try to teach them, hey, that's not enough. You got to give me at least a couple more cards for this one that you want. Those guys are nobodies. Yep. Give me a card I want. You can't just give me any card. You have to give me something that I want as the person trading you. So starting with those little lessons, are important and just having fun with it.
And sometimes those are key attributes that some adults don't get. You know, you can be talking to someone about trading cars and they're offering you some stuff sometimes like,
Yeah, I want it.
interesting.
But this is a $5,000 Mahomes. I'll give you a $5,000 Mahomes for that. It's $4,500 your price, but I don't want it. It's a trade up, but I don't want it. You know,
True.
So you never know. You can't force a trade on someone. You got to be engaged in it.
Very true. Going back to Love What You Collect, when we were talking about college players, she talked about Jaden Ivey, who was out of Iowa, I think, that's coming out in the draft. A lot of teams are ranking him high as a draft pick. I think even top 3, top 4. I will see where he goes and see how he plays. The way the rhythm of the NBA goes, right? Last year, the 2020 NBA draft class, probably to 2025, somebody's coming out that's going to be the next leaders of the NBA. That's just how that rolls. And then now, with guys playing 1 year in college, you got to give somebody probably 3 to 5 years to even know who that player is.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, and the thing is that the way the draft goes is you're going to one of the bottom of the barrel these days, and it's it's not to where how it used to be 20 years ago, where even some of the decent teams would get a decent pick. Some you're getting like I said, I'm a Washington fan based to the Wizards. Very well. They're one of the worst teams in the league. Who knows? He could go to the Wizards. You never know. How these players are going to play in their first early years, and then they get traded. When they get traded, that's where their real value comes in. I feel like their first 3 years, the first top 5 draft picks, they're really playing for their value long term. Seldomly do they come in, they change the total scheme of the team, and they're a playoff bound team. Very seldomly.
Very seldom.
There's like one team I can't remember that did that over the past couple of years, other than the Timberwolves. Timberwolves with Edwards. I mean, this was just very recent. They were, I think, bottom 3 in the league. All of a sudden, they're in the playoffs. And that was unexpected that one man could come in and sort of change that. The hype was there, but wasn't a guarantee. So he did it. Prior to that, there haven't been many. The Suns moved up, but they had some drastic trades over a span of 2 years to go from bottom of the barrel, 20 wins in a season, who knows, 30 wins to 60, 70. I mean, it's just, drastic change.
And then like this year, Aiton's probably gone.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what their roster looks like.
Yeah.
This was a great year for them to make a move, to get something done.
Oh, yeah.
Probably the championship Golden State should not have won. But that's how basketball, all sports goes. You can look at Tom Brady. There's some games he shouldn't have won. But this happened, that happened. And he has a trophy in there. That's just how it works. Another team got put out. You got to think this year, right? And this is what I think about. Giannis gets put out, gets it, kicked out of the playoffs. Jokic out. What's another big man? There were like 4 or 5 big men that are just gone. Golden State's biggest weakness was they don't have a big man. And then they end up playing a team in the finals. Williams III was hurt. If he was at 100%, that could have been a totally different series. But it's not about, to me, greatness sometimes is how you take things that can be in your favor and really make them in your favor by taking advantage of the situation that's at hand. And that's probably any aspect of life. You play basketball, I play football. There's some games we probably shouldn't have won. But somebody on that team took advantage of something, and before you know it, you're walking off the field like, yeah.
Yeah.
So earlier you said that you were in Virginia. What part of Virginia were you in?
Loudoun County, Virginia. Grew up in Loudoun County.
How far is that away from Richmond?
I actually went to college in Richmond. So I went to VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University. People call me Shaka Smart because, yes, I was there during the VCU time with VCU, made their run, and Shaka was a coach. And, yeah, man, those were some good years for sure.
Well, I had some friends that were in Richmond, and I've been to Richmond 2 or 3 times and have been in probably an hour radius, went from Richmond to D.C. I've been in that area. Cool area, man.
Oh, it's a great area. The whole 64, 95. I mean, it's great. You can hit from Newport Beach. I'm sorry, from Newport News. The Old Dominion area, Virginia Beach, all the way down to Richmond, Charlottesville. Lots of history there. Lots of colleges down that whole strip. Lots of sports. I mean, it's a huge, that's where Allen Iverson came from, down that area. It's a big area for competition there. Football.
Durant came from DC, Maryland area.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So he was over in Oak Hill area, Montrose area. That's right off 95. The whole 95 stretch. It's a lot of ballers, in that area. So you take it back years, and into the 70s and 80s too, and just there's been ballers for years. David Robinson, played in those parts. AAU basketball. So it's a long list. Both entertainers and athletes, in that area. So fun to grow up there, but my family's there. They can hold it down. I'm happy in Cali.
I feel the same way about Chicago. I got family still there. It's good to visit. I don't know if I ever moved back to Chicago, but it's a good place, I think, to be from. I learned a lot there. I will take Junior and my kids there one day. I took Junior. He doesn't remember this, but I took him when he was 2 or 3 years old to where I went to high school, where I graduated from, where my parents lived when I was born. We have pictures of all that, but I know he doesn't remember that now. But when my youngest son, Robert, gets older, we'll probably make that trip again so people can kind of check it out,
Oh, yeah. Got to. Yeah, one of my kids was born in Virginia because I did move over there for 2 years. So, we had our 4-year-old who was born over there. Okay. And but he doesn't remember. He was too young. We already moved back to Cali by that time. So at some point, take him back. We go back once this summer to see Virginia. Probably check out to see if there's any local card shows this year when I go back that we can, go and see if there's anything we can bring back to Cali. That we can add to our collection here in California, because sometimes you go to other states and you find gems you just don't find anywhere else. I went to Arizona for a card show, and there's stuff I haven't seen ever. People taking out their garage, and it's the first card show I've done in 40 years. And those are the tables you want to go at and wow, and just check things and and see how pristine are these items. What interests you. And there's a lot of small towns out there, a lot of small collectible shows that have grown over the past year or two that I think are worth, when you travel, they're worth checking them out, seeing what's around to attend.
Have you ever been to the Chantilly show in Virginia?
That's the Tidewater collectible show. So I haven't been to that one, but I've seen videos, photos of it. And that's one that I plan to attend at some point, at least, just as a buyer. To go over there and coast through. So we'll see the dates of it. I think they're in a different state when I'm over there, but I'll be in Virginia, North Carolina in August. So I'm going to check to see which locations I'll be at.
Cool. I haven't been in that show either. I've seen many videos of it, many photos for years. One day I aspire to get out there and check that out. It looks like a great show.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it looks big open room, lots of 40 to 100 people. You can't tell how many vendors there were, but it depends on how many tables each vendor has. But yeah, it's a full room. You get any room, it looks like it has 100 tables in it. It's a good size show, and it was packed, jam packed. Autograph signings, everything. It's a big element. Keeping everybody active.
So we got Sam Rothstein. Sam, thanks for being here. Appreciate you for being
here. Sam.
Timo. Thank you, Timo. I appreciate you. So Chet Holmgren, this is going to be a question in the offseason here, talking about basketball. He's a tough player. Seeing him a few years ago at Steph Curry's clinic, his IQ is super high. That is true. It's always interesting with these big guys that are tall, that are slenderly built. How would their body hang? This was a question on Kevin Durant when he first came out. How would he be able to take the NBA pounding? Chet has a nice jump shot. He can cross creep over. He's almost 7 feet tall. It's going to be interesting. I think
am I PCing Chet Holmgren? No, not until he proves to me that he is a long-term asset.
Speak on it. Speak on. I'm not going to PC him either, but I will look at games. I'll be sitting and watching a lot of Chet just to see how he's made what he does.
Yeah.
He's most likely going to Orlando. So it'll be
Yeah, most likely. Most likely.
I'm afraid Zion is the next Larry Johnson. Timo, I think it's too early. Larry Johnson has surgeries. I mean, he, on his back. I think it's too early to say that.
Zion's coming back with a vengeance, man, next year. Give it a month into the season, and it's gonna be like a blink of an eye from a year ago. Everybody's gonna forget about all that middle ground that he lost, and it's gonna be like he's putting up the same numbers as he did when he left, and it's gonna be right back to where it was. So your PC is still strong, Timo.
Love Virginia and West Virginia. Good people there.
I appreciate you.
We got Larry Pringle. With Fanatics taking over the next few years and their direct-to-consumer model, well, how do you believe it will affect the breaking business community?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. So I think Fanatics, from speaking with Fanatics and working with some of the distributors right now, and just when products coming in and accessing products, is they're looking to sort of take over all aspects of the industry, all directions. So from the storefronts that are selling the products to the breakers, there's distributors that are controlling that market in the middle of price, values, what products available, telling you there's no products available when there actually are cases and cases in the back. They just want to wait until they can increase the price another 30%. So Fanatics is really trying to cut out those middlemen, those third parties, take control of their hiring breakers themselves. They're getting their foot into all the storefronts, distributing directly, opposed to through these small third party people you're going to start seeing that are phased out. Just because that's how the hobby is transitioning. They're going to have to find something else to do within the industry. Those guys that are providing some of these breakers or hobby shops boxes, they're not going to be providing boxes to these hobby shops and breakers anymore because they won't have the account access to do so. Fanatics is actually going to be cutting them out and operating directly. So if you have someone delivering cases of Panini products to your store, they're in a Fanatics t-shirt. It's a Fanatics distributor at that point. It's not Suncoast Sports Cards, or whatever small mom and pop may distribute to you. So those relationships in the hobby are important. That direct to consumer model, I think that they're still going to have those releases on their website, just like you see right now, those lotteries where they're doing for retail. Same thing. You're going to have those lotteries for hobby boxes. You're going to have to put in that you want 6 and hope that you get approved for 6. And just whenever they decide to charge your credit card in that 72 hours, you better hope the money's available. Because that's what they're doing with blasters, mega boxes, some hobby products on Fanatics. And that won't change when they start rolling out the higher value items, unless they roll out with some type of, membership where you have an exclusive access like Topps does. At some point they might decide to do that. I haven't heard anything about it, but for right now, that model of the lottery, raffles, put in your bid for what you want, and if we can charge your credit card, then you get it once they pick you. That's what they're going to have to roll with until they're able to control all those different directions of distribution over these next 5 years.
Feed the Gods asks, hey, Cali Elite Sports Cards, where did you get your hands on that chain for the slabs?
Yeah, so this chain actually is not real gold. That's right. You can chew on it. That's right. All you want. But
the same question of the show, like, Cali Lee, where'd you get that bling from?
That's right. Now, so Amazon, whatever chain you want. I actually got this straight off of the neck of the guys who provide the Slab Strong case here. So it's a little Slab Strong card case, comes with a little insert as well for PSA. It clips right in, and then you just add whatever chain you want to on the end of it. I think the Slab Strongs are about $24.99, I think, retail. You can follow them on Instagram. They have an Instagram page to take you directly to their website with their links. And yeah, then you can just, jazz it up how you want to. But they were out promoting this. The guy from Slapstrong had it. He was walking around. He had his hat on. And I was like, I want that. He's like, oh, yeah, I can get you one. I was like, no, I want that one. Right off your neck. Right off his neck. And bought it right off his neck, combo price. And, shout out to them. And they kids love it. Kids come up, oh, what you got? Sometimes I'll throw a Pokemon on there. I don't even do Pokemon. Like, my kids love Pokemon, but I don't have my own PC collection. But I love putting a, fun little Pokemon card on there, or a Spider-Man, Marvel, Holo, something like that. Just as a talking point. It's an engagement aspect. Families love it.
That's good stuff, man. Slapstrong in the house. Timo says, how do you feel, FD or Cali, about autographed memorabilia? So Timo, I dove into autographs for many years. Got a lot of jerseys signed. Met a lot of. Yeah, pull that out, bro. I know what you're going for. And Cali Lee loves autographs as well. I'm looking at a Tom Brady signed jersey. Not game used, but hand signed. Your thoughts? I'm a big proponent of autographed memorabilia. To me, it's cool. It may be a part of my generation that I get so excited about it, but I think more people now.
Talk about what we collect, PC.
Yeah.
All that.
What do you see this?
Autograph mem.
What you got?
So.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tom Brady is the GOAT. Herbie is also the GOAT. Now, autograph mem. If you see that Beckett label of authenticity, if you see that JSA authenticity, PSA, when it comes to certain things as well, you have to be careful of who's authenticating your memorabilia.
Speak on
That's all I'm going to say. If you have the big names on it, Beckett, PSA, JSA, Fanatics as well, also do authentications and have those, they're certified contracts. They're very limited, but those are really the only ones I think you can see as legit these days. There's so many, frauds out there when it comes to autographed memorabilia.
A lot.
So be careful.
That prompted me to go get stuff signed in person all the time because I wanted to make sure that it was real. But then, like Callie's talking about, there are certain athletes that only sign with certain companies. Like Brady only signs with certain companies. So if you see a Brady autograph, especially stuff from when he first started, with a company you never heard of, just watch the situation.
Yeah.
Right? Jordan only signs with Upper Deck. LeBron only signs with Upper Deck. Kobe was only signing with Panini. KD was signing with Panini. I don't know if he's still with them right now. You're going to see a lot of KD stuff on the market from Panini. There are certain athletes. Luka is with Panini, I think. There are certain athletes that only sign with certain places, really. So if you see something that's disjointed, just check it out. Now, and then also keep up with your paperwork. Once you see that sticker that Cali Elite just shows you, you're going to have some form of paperwork that's with that. Always know what that paperwork is, because someone told me a long time ago, your autograph is only as good as your paperwork or the sticker that's on the item.
Someone offered me a trade. They approached my table and they had 2 Wayne Gretzky record-breaking signed pucks with a signed frame picture, Wayne Gretzky. And I asked, where's the authentication? It's an awesome piece. Like, are they authenticated? No, they're not. And they, gave me the value of them. Of the current authenticated pieces, what the value would be. So, there's a lot of debate out there of, what's authentic, how do you find out if it's authentic, and what do you value it at? If it isn't, it's very hard to value something that is not authentic at all, to be honest. So it'd be very careful, like Ron with FD said.
Also know that just like you have some card collectors or investors that say, I will never grade a card. I don't want someone's third opinion on what this card is. There are some autograph people out there that may have legitimate autographs, But when you want to enter into a market, if I want to sell Cali Elite an autograph, I got to go through my steps to make sure that autograph has paperwork to it. Now, if I want to take my autograph of Bo Jackson and take it home and put it on my mantle, and I know that I met Bo Jackson at a signing somewhere, he signed that, but I don't want to pay for the authentication on it, then that's a personal item for me. But when I start to want to engage in some kind of, I'm going to exchange this for this, or I'm going to sell you this for this, I can't do anything without paperwork.
Yeah.
Even if I'm looking on, I've had some people hit me up, some people I talk to a lot in the hobby, and they've asked me questions about stuff they've seen on eBay that doesn't have any paperwork. First thing I tell them, you can't mess with that. Especially stuff that says game used. Where's the paperwork? Because I could take a jersey and put it on and roll around in the mud and then put it on eBay and says game used. But it never saw a game. Never saw the player's back. You just got to be conscious of that. But if that paperwork lines up, I'm all for those items where paperwork lines up. Like Kelly Lee, you at Delmar, you had a framed jersey.
Yeah.
That you took over and had authenticated.
I was actually about to bring that up. Yeah. So I had a framed Michael Jordan jersey, autographed, and took it over to Beckett to get it authenticated. And took it over. Actually, I took it over to PSA. I took it over to PSA instead of Beckett. Beckett was also there on site, but PSA it had an authentication from a prior company already. And now a client sent me this jersey just to hold on to, show off for them, of course, and to see if it was authentic. Outside of that smaller company from the East Coast company, I can't remember the name of it right now. Actually, I think it was like 5 Star or something like that. And at a New York City. So there you go. Who knows how many authentications are in New York City? One red flag right there. We got to get this looked at. And PSA came back, not enough points to authenticate. So, that jersey has not been on display in any show since then. It's not been taken out in public since then at that point. Now, it doesn't mean that the jersey's fake. Oh, no, you got a fake jersey, Jordan authentication. No, that's not what it means. It means the person that reviewed that at that time felt as though there could be 1 point, 2 points on there that was made it that they could not authenticate it at that time. Now, that same exact possible jersey, you could send to Beckett. They may authenticate it with enough points off their records. You don't know. I've done my diligence of getting authenticated one time with PSA, letting the customer know, shipping it back to the customer. But again, there's, you have to be careful in this hobby of it's all based off one person's interpretation. That computer program as well, but also one person's mentality. Same with a PSA 9 and a PSA 8 or a PSA 10. When you recrack a Beckett 9 and send it to PSA for a 10, you're really hoping that person's having a great day. Yep. Because they could be having a bad day and it comes back a PSA 8 and you just lost a couple $1,000. So plus grading fees based off the value of your card. So it's really based off that person. There are companies out there that do everything off computer programs. A little more consistent, but it's consistent for what that company's settings are. So it's not the same as PSA and Beckett. So those are the two companies you have to look at when it comes to grading and that authentication.
And so I really get into autographs, right? So when Kelly Lee talks about 5-point match, everyone signs their name differently. So like my autograph is not like Kelly Lee's. And Mike Jordan has a slant typically to his autograph, the way he writes. His M looks a certain way. His J in Jordan looks a certain way. He usually writes through that M. So if you see an M sitting by itself and then you see that I come out after, probably not Mike Jordan signing that. So I just look at what I like to do too is look at real autographs, and then look at some fake autograph models. So you can see how someone tried to replicate that autograph if it is deemed as fake.
Yeah.
And so stuff you can look out for. I tell this story all the time. I went to San Francisco in 2015. This is right before Junior was born. I went to get Barry Bonds' autograph and meet him in person. And we're right across the street from the Levi Stadium before it had opened. The stadium was finished, so I walk outside and look at it like, man, this thing is crazy. But they hadn't played a game there yet. and there was a college bowl game coming up. But there was a guy in the show with about 20 Willie Mays autographed baseballs. And if anybody knows Willie Mays autograph, right, is he has a sporadicness, especially as he got older, a sporadicness with how he wrote. Sometimes it was a real, like, not so wild autograph. Sometimes that autograph could spread on the ball. All these balls were signed on the sweet spot, and they all had the same width. In my mind, it's not real. There's no way you can line 20 Willie Mays balls up that are real, and you look at them, and they look the exact same.
Yeah.
So there was a guy who came over and bought a ball. He went over, as soon as he bought it, went right to PSA's booth. Within seconds, they told him the ball was not real. He comes back to this guy. Guy didn't want to give him a refund. And Cali Lee, this became a hostile situation.
Oh, for sure.
And I think this guy was only selling the balls for like 150, 175. So that's not a real Willie Mays baseball, but this guy thought, man, I found a deal. So this argument throughout the show, the voices are being raised to the point where the guy who sold the ball gave him a refund.
Oh, man.
But I'm standing there thinking like, yeah, I don't know how you come in here and put fake balls on the table and you got PSA sitting right over here.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, seriously. PSA sitting right there. Like, it's not one person going to take it to authenticate it. Oh, man.
Bold,
Goodness. That is very bold.
Yeah, exclusively Steiner for Brady. He also signs with TriStar, which has a link with Steiner. And a lot of items I think you get now, I think they have both authentication stickers on them with Steiner and TriStar. Like I back in the day, I used to send stuff in a Steiner all the time to get stuff signed. So, do you ever come to the Dallas show? Cali Lee, have you ever been to Dallas?
I have not been to Dallas yet. My youngest kid just turned 1. So this past year, I've sort of been a little restricted from this Vegas, Arizona, California, sort of 4-hour radius, just for the benefits of my family as well. It's been great. I don't want to leave my little ones too long. But I look to attend either. I'm planning to attend the next Dallas show as a buyer, most likely. You'll see me there. And if not, the next one I will be at set up. With most likely one table. I got some people already there that have been set up. So I plan to attend Dallas this year. Yes, at my earliest convenience.
We've had the same strategy because of family and other things going on, where we try to stay somewhat local. Went up to the Bay Area, want to go again. Went to San Diego, been in LA, been open to going to Denver, Phoenix, and Vegas. So I'm with you 100% on that. You'll talk to some people sometimes like, man, why don't you do this? Like, there's a lot of things that I'm considering when it comes to making big trips. But we want to try to go to Dallas early part, probably by April, May of next year. Try to make it to Dallas and be at a show. I do know Dallas can get some snow and get cold, so I'm trying to let that weather pass by. Then I'd like to be there. But I completely understand your point and what you're talking about. Vintage Lord Canada, thank you for being here. FD, congrats on your first Marvel PMG. Thank you very much. Hunt for some PMGs from 2013, 15, and 17. Some good deals right now. My eyes have been open. So, Cali Lee, I went to Newport. I picked up a Killmonger Black Panther card.
Ooh.
Purple, Pop 5, PSA 10. And I will start looking for more stuff. That was the first PMG, first Marvel card I've kind of picked up.
Nice.
And I think anybody that watches my content, I don't close doors on anything. There's not like I'm walking around talking about, I would never buy a Marvel card. I think the more experience you have with stuff and the more stuff you see. And then the Black Panther movie itself is just something I've always enjoyed. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, interesting.
Oh, great piece. Great piece.
Thank you. All right, Jay-Z and Fanatics by Mitchell and Ness. I saw that for $250 million as well. Meek Mill and Lil Baby, LeBron James, business partner Maverick Carter, and the TikTok D'Amelio family are vested in Fanatics. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of culture involved now in some decisions that are going on. When they picked up Mitchell and Ness, I've always wondered. Again, I get an autograph, so I bought a lot of Mitchell and Ness jerseys over the years. to get him autographed. I've always wondered, like, where's Mitchell and Ness going long term?
Yeah. I mean, hey, like I said, Fanatics taking control of every single direction. It doesn't matter from memorabilia to, you know, the clothing aspect of it, what you're wearing every day to go to these events, not just what you're buying to collect. You know, they're putting their foot in every single door. You know, stars with Jay-Z. Like I said, you're right next to Jay-Z. I mean, you put it right there. Are, you know, Jay-Z and Fanatics together, those big names, and you loop LeBron James as well into the mix. Anybody, you know, in that circle, you can see again, the sky's the limit right now in the next 10 to 20 years for Fanatics and what the hobby could turn into. There's going to be so much transition and just, I think, growth from areas we can't even think of right now.
Fathom. Yeah, I agree.
Can't even fathom. We can't even fathom what's going to happen within the hobby based off who's behind it and who's behind these moves. They don't know what's going to happen. All they know is that it's worth the investment.
True. Big John, what's up? Good to have you here. Always good.
What up, John?
Air Weasel, do ever come? Oh, we talked about that, Dallas.
Sir.
Air Weasel, FD. Oh, April's jumping in. Go, April. FD strategy right now is taking him to shows mostly on the West Coast right now, but he hopes to go to Dallas in 2023. April's got my back.
What's up, April?
Yeah. Good evening, gentlemen. How's it going? CV Sports Cars.
What's that? Shout out CV. What's up?
Timo says, FD, what grade is your Kobe start date? It is a BGS 9.5 with all subgrades of 9.5. 43 pop for that card.
Nice.
With those subgrades. It's a card that I've wanted for, you know, having a PC for a long time. My strategy is kind of like now picking up cards that I've been looking for a while. Like we went to Newport, I found a Curry card, I found that Killmonger card. That's kind of more of my focus now. Something that's a little bit different, probably lower pop. It could be signed or not. Something I think if I add it to the PC, I feel like I've added something significant, I would say, instead of just more cards, you know. And I don't have a problem either. I've been learning more about how to get a card that's raw, get it graded. Maybe even some trades to move myself up to other cards. I'm growing and open to all of that.
Yeah, you know, I do a lot of trading for people ask me, hey, will you trade? You know, I used to do a lot of boxes for trading. You know, that's more so what I do. I'm a breaker. So sorry, you want to trade a slab or so for a box, you know, maybe open to that. But, you know, I'm looking to, now that the boom is over, that Killmonger card you just bought, it would have been 4 or 5 times the price 6 months ago.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so now's the time again, back into look for your first Jordan rookie. Who cares if it's a 4? You know, look for a Jordan autograph that's maybe realistic that you can afford to trade up for. You know, have a goal of some.
What you're talking about. This start date card was 20,000 plus at one point.
Yeah, you know, it's like have a small little goal of something that maybe been untouchable 6 months ago, but now you're like, wow, that price has dropped 50%, 60%. Let me have that now as one of my goals and start trading up and, you know, start that mission.
You're dropping knowledge, man. That's where it's at. That start date card I had looked at 8 months prior, and I thought to myself, I never own that card. I'm still working my way up to something. But the market corrected itself. And I was like, just like Cali Lee just said, if you've had your eye on a Mahomes card or a Luka card or some cards you thought, man, I may not ever be able to add that to my PC, or I may not be able to invest that in the short term, it might be time now. You know, you never know.
Yeah.
Like R said, Cali is right. Fanatics won a monopoly. They're looking at grading cards. Luber talked about, and Ruben talked about, having a connection point with every aspect of the hobby. And some of this, like if you think about it, you break a card, right? Let's say I get a card you broke. I got to take that card, put it into a sleeve, send that card to somebody to get that card graded, get that card back, have someone probably clean it for me. There's a lot of touch points on that card that there's no hub in that wheel. You know, You're going off and you're doing your own thing. What if there was a hub in that wheel? Then what happens? We'll find out in the next 3 to 5 years or more.
Right.
What we see. But I do believe, I keep saying this over and over, the cars that say that this swatch of jersey is not from any particular player or any particular game or event, I think those days are over with.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, they have all the access to it. There should be no need.
Especially now you got more players getting involved in what their car is probably going to look like. I think someone even said here that agents may be involved. It's going to be more touch points with that. Maybe even more touch points with the team itself. We don't know what's coming, but to me, it's exciting since I first heard about this. Some people say that Fanatics is going to run, the card market into the ground. We're going to go back into hot pop, just a bunch of production stuff being thrown out there.
Oh, come on. Look, Prism right here. Look, not just look, Prism. It doesn't matter what Fanatics does. Panini themselves have already doubled the print run of Prism. They have already doubled what they are putting in these boxes. It is now a 330 base and 110 rookie set, where it used to be 240 altogether. So Fanatics can't increase it any more than what it already has. A little bit of that, is just, fool's gold, whatever you want to say. Like, it's just people just feeding that, to you to make you excited. And, we're not excited about the transition. But, right now, I think is Fanatics' time to change the game and put the value back into it. And they know that. They're going to put the caps on MSRP rates, storefront rates, to where you're going to be able to get a blaster walk into your local LCS, and they're only going to be able to charge you a certain amount for that new Prism football blaster that just came out, because Fanatics has added that restriction and distributes directly, opposing them buying from someone directly off the street and pricing it whatever they want. Fanatics will set those margins and timelines of MSRP caps so that the regular consumer can purchase. And that doesn't happen in 3 to 5 years. Remember this video and call me out. But from my experience from talking to them internally and what I've seen, I think we'll like what we see in 5 years.
I used to work for a major food manufacturing distributor, and there was a retail chain that sold products for that major manufacturing distributor. And part of the retail chain, I've never even talked about this on before, I would say 70%, maybe 60% of the retail chain was corporately owned. So prices of product, what the promotions look like, when you walk in, the ad that you saw, how it translated in the store. If you saw this bottle of water for a certain amount in the ad, it was the same way in the store. The other portion of the franchise was franchisees. So let's say Cali Elite, you own 12 stores, I own 5. I'm pricing stuff at what I want to price it at, right? I may get ads and I didn't put them out. The sales, everything about the culture of those stores was totally different. You walked into a franchise store, you're like, oh, I know I'm in a franchise store before I even ask the question. You walk into a corporately owned store, it was laid out. Every store you walked into, laid out. Franchisees did whatever they wanted to do.
That's right.
And it affected sales. It affected customer service. It affected everything. And what we're talking about right now is no different.
No, very true. Very true. The consistency in the corporate settings, and then, the regular franchisees free to do what they want, price up, price it down, move it how they wish to, and sometimes it doesn't offer that same value.
Especially when I remember back in the day, you could run a franchisee would run a sales promo that no one knew about. And you walk in the store and wonder why the shelves are empty.
That's right. That's right. Not in a corporate store. Free to do what they want. Sometimes you get better value, discounts, specials, happy hour specials at restaurants and things that are franchisee stores, because, they can do that, on their own will.
It's true. CV Sports Cars. I got an eBay store, and I can tell you that $1 to $50 inventory has been selling much better than the larger cars that are at current comps. Nobody want to drop coin on big cars. They rather trade up. As a perspective.
Yeah, it all depends. Also, are the bigger cards that you're listing graded cards or are they raw cards? Because I have found too that the cards that are not graded, are moving slower because there's not that already guarantee of that number on there. And then again, months ago they were flying. I mean, you could list something in 24 hours, it was sold, or you could put it on an auction for a minimum amount, what the minimum was for last sold, and someone will bid on it within hours. And those days are over from, those, I think that the high volume eBay days of just putting something on there expecting for the last comp are tough. It's eBay comps, alt comps. What do you consider valuable to you? All have to be considered within the hobby of all these different outlets of what is a card worth.
True. Very true. Or the world will go digital currency, not crypto. Money will move fast, really fast. Sports card sales and merchandise will move fast. Watch out for soccer cards.
Yeah.
I think from now, me personally, from now to probably April next year, we're all going to learn a lot about what's happening in the market.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, World Cup year. So soccer is coming. Soccer's coming strong. There's a lot of products coming out this year. The Mosaic released some more products, Mosaic Soccer, and Prism released, and a lot of the top to higher end are coming up towards the end of the year when World Cup comes out. So it's the most widely played sports, and watch out for it.
Oh, yeah. Well, Cali Lee, it's been great having you on, sir.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
I want to have you on again in a duration of time, give you some time. But you have great insight, man. And I've learned some stuff about you today. Like, you talking about Virginia and other stuff. I did not know that. Didn't know you played basketball. That's why it's always good to have conversations with people, because we have so many layers as individuals. And sometimes you can get in the conversation. I can remember being on some of these shows and some stuff that happened to me 20 years ago will come up that I haven't thought about it since, really, until we get into that conversation. But it's been great learning more about you.
Thank you, man. It's been a pleasure, man. And again, family man to family man. I appreciate you welcoming me on to your podcast, your show. It's been great. And I look forward to seeing you at the next show, man. I'll be at premiere on the 25th. I'll see you up there.
I know you're going to do your thing. So before we get out of here, let everybody know, where can they find Cali Elite on social media, and where can they find your breaks? Yeah, please shoot me a follow on Instagram. We're on Instagram Live late night. We put the kids to bed sometimes, and we're on from 9 p.m. to who knows, whenever you're done ripping. We're we're on Drip Shop Live. If you haven't downloaded the Drip Shop app, they also have just a straight website form. You can go to Drip Shop Live. Our links in our Instagram bio. Please follow us on Whatnot as well. We're going to be getting cranking again on Whatnot. We took a little, a time away from that to focus on Drip Shop Live and growing back on IG, as well as some of our local events. One man can't do it all on all three platforms at once. But as we are growing, because we are growing, getting other breakers on the platform, finding the right energy and support, we're going to be opening up those doors to all of those outlets, breaking on Loop as well, TikTok at some point by the end of the year. So, 2022 is going to be a special year for us, and we're looking forward to it. Well, on Rolling with FD, we love to support people, man. So if you ever have anything you want someone else to help advertise for you or to put on Instagram to reach people, you let me know. I do a lot for all the shows that we go to. So if you have anything that you want it posted from someone else, I'm here to support you, man. I will do. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate that. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you for everything. Thank you, bro. Awesome, man. Nothing but the hits. Cali Elite, nothing but the hits, people. So, thank you, brother. Have a good one.